Oh, hi there. I was reminded earlier by my cousin of a debate I'd had several years ago on YouTube. It was about Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer, the short movie made in the mid-60s, and how it was inherently homosexual. I myself didn't agree with that, and I made my point quite clear to the people I was talking to at the time. Well, I'll just go over it real quick. The gist of the story is uh, Rudolph has this red nose. People don't like him because of that, other reindeer. He leaves to go off and figure out things. And there's also an elf who wants to be a dentist, and he's also an outcast. And they meet up and they head out. Well, let's start with this dentist elf by the name of Hermes. Yes, he does have a gay sounding voice. The actor who portrayed him probably is a homosexual. I don't know that. I don't even know if he's still alive or not. I think that in itself is rather harmless. I mean, it's a movie geared towards children, so whatever. It didn't nothing that elf did in that short movie struck me as being inappropriate or absurd. Yes, his voice was it lacked masculinity in it, and the fashion he talked, he did sound like a homosexual, but I didn't notice in any of the scenes that it was really that much of an issue. There's this one website that I checked on Google. It's one of the top searches. It's called LGBTQNation.com. And it talks about the movie. There's no real solid constructive arguments for the homosexual theory about it. They claim that a character called Yukon Cornelius is what they would call as a bear. In case you don't know what a bear is, it's a homosexual man with hair, and usually, bigger, like fat or bigger anyway. I don't think that was fair. Cornelius really did not strike me as a gay character. People can interpret things differently, and that's just the way it is. In fact, there's a bit of a quote in the short movie where Cornelius is like, "Oh, it's the air is as thick as peanut butter here," and then Hermes says, "You mean like pea soup?" And then Cornelius says, "You eat what you want to eat, and I'll eat what I want to eat." That I kind of can interpret that a little differently. I look at it as you can think what you want about the movie, and somebody else can think what they want to think about the movie. So if people out there want to believe that this movie had homosexual connotations to it, you are welcome to do so. This is a free country, and you're allowed to think that. I do not agree with that. There was one scene when they go to the Misfit town for Misfit toys, and they spend the night there, and they're in like kind of a cabin of some sort, like a toy cabin, and they spend the night there. They are sleeping rather close to each other, but they're not, like hugging each other or even that close. They're like on opposite sides of the small room. You can't expect, there to be a big cabin for them. Because, it's obviously a poor little misfit town that they've gone to. They're the toys that nobody wanted. So they're obviously not rich, so, cut them a little slack. And the other thing is they had pink blankets. So, what, you're going to freeze because you're given a pink blanket, or are you just going to take it like a man and, wear a pink blanket? yeah, so there's that. There's not a whole lot of female character development. The story's mostly focused on Rudolph, Hermes, and Cornelius trying to avoid the abominable snowman, and eventually they pull out his teeth and reform him so that he can do simple tasks as some sort of a job. And that's more or less how the story ends. They of course go back to the misfit town and collect the toys and find new homes for them. None of that seems strange to me. As far as character development goes, I think in the span of 50 minutes they did quite well on that. The female characters didn't have as big a role. Okay, that's true. Mrs. Donner, and a lot of people were on that, she was just referred to as Mrs. Donner, and sometimes it's, you don't think twice about those sort of things. Maybe it's a tad sexist, but there wasn't a lot of room for development in that short period of time of which the movie elapsed. There just wasn't enough time. There was a young female deer by the name of Clarice that was interested in Rudolph. She had a singing part in the movie, and she had quite a bit of character development. She wasn't in the movie too much, but she did have her moments. So I don't think that was weird. Even on that website, they were saying, that she was the beard for Rudolph. And that I don't agree with. Like, you can go off on adventures where it's like a male-only party, and it doesn't mean anything. It's not gay, it's not weird, it's not creepy, it's not anything. It's just, men going out and doing things. Yes, it probably would have been better, the story would have been better if she were more involved, but, it's not really that big an issue. Then there's Mrs. Claus. She seemed like a caring wife, that she was interested in, getting Santa Claus fat as he's supposed to be. To be Santa Claus, you have to be fat. And she was really concerned that there wouldn't be Christmas because of the snow. And Santa Claus was a bit of a sourpuss through most of the movie. That's okay, though. It doesn't mean anything, because Santa Claus can't always have the same personality in every depiction of himself, or that would just get boring. So they tweak a little things here and there, change the story a little bit, change Santa Claus's character or other people in the story's characters a little bit, and it makes for more interesting stories. So with all that in consideration, the story itself and the way it's was shown, I don't think the movie was gay at all. Again, if some of the actors who played some of the voices were gay, then it doesn't affect the story one way or the other. I don't think there was some hidden message saying, an undertone saying that this is gay, this is a gay movie, and subliminal messaging and all that other sort of stuff. I don't think there was any of that in this movie. There was the first person in the credits is Burl Ives. He, as far as I know, was not gay either. He had two wives, who he was married to for his entire life mostly. I forget when he married the first one. I looked it up, just before I made this video. I think it was 1945 he married the first one or something. And then he was married to the second one up until his death. So he didn't strike me as a gay person. He might have been, I don't know. But it didn't really hit me like that. what else happened in that movie? Because it had actually been, a couple years since I'd seen it, so I just skimmed through it earlier to reestablish the facts of what exactly went on. Like, I'd seen that movie like 100 times when I was younger, and I just don't like the idea of people saying, no, it was gay, and they're trying to make up reasons to justify their argument that it is a gay movie. I did not think that, and I don't like to think of my early childhood movies being portrayed in that light as a subliminal message towards me. Especially when I think it's just someone's overactive imagination. As I said before, they're welcome to interpretate information the way they want to, and I'll interpretate information the way I want to. And I don't see any validity in that argument. There were scenes that they said that they altered throughout the movie, like something about Cornelius and a peppermint mine he was looking for. In the version I have, he's looking for gold and silver, and he has this thing about licking his pickaxe. That even in itself is not weird. I mean, the thing is also that I wanted to mention is that the elf dentist Hermes, yes, the guy who played his voice probably is gay, but the character himself, like the elf is obviously supposed to be a young man, so he doesn't have the dominant authoritarian voice. He's supposed to be a young man, he's supposed to be an elf. Elves are kind of portrayed to be not fairies, but a bit more, I don't know what word to use to describe it. He would have been the most likely to be a gay character in that whole movie. Because there were like little things like there were female elves who wore pink clothing, and the male elves wore blue clothing. So that is sexual stereotypes that you're either wearing blue, you're a man, or you're wearing pink, you're a woman. He wore blue. So, again, I don't think anything was weird about that. He obviously didn't have a female interest in him. But a guy with a personality like that, he wouldn't be able to keep the women away. Like, there's some gay guys that, they really have a hard time keeping the women away. And he would be one of them. So anyway, I wanted to make this video to clear that up. It is Christmas Day, so I wanted to do a Christmas sort of themed video, and I was running short on ideas, so this one, it's a story worth talking about, and if people have got different opinions than me, then that's perfectly alright. As I said, I'm not required to agree with them, and I guess we'll leave it at that. Anyways, I'll probably make another video today, and maybe even another one after that, because this is my gap away from work where I have a significant amount of time to actually make videos. So, yeah, I'll talk to you guys later. Have a good one.